Hey, welcome. 12 Up Podcast, episode number 3. Same people here this week, so that's good. This is, almost as long as another 3 episodes like this that go smoothly. And if nobody jumps ship or gets fired, we will have something that I think will last at least 10 episodes.
Two's good.
He's at 10 is good. That'll be the longest run, right? Yeah, right? Yes. Like when we did this a few years ago, it fell apart after we had that black Nazi on there. Remember that kid? Were you on that episode?
Oh, no.
And Ali.
No, I wasn't on that.
Yeah, this kid was like not Nazi. Well, he sort of was. He was talking about how much he loved Hitler and stuff, but he was black. He denied his blackness. He looked black. Like he was blacker than all of us. Like, whatever. So I was looking, I was like, he was light skinned and stuff, but he's like so much self-hate. Oh.
Is that why he was brung on the podcast to talk about that, or it just came up?
Nah, it was. So I knew the kid from college, right? And he'd be on social. He was really into that, like in 2016, 17, with all that alt-right stuff, and like people, like people really getting into right-wing politics and kind of flirting with being a Nazi or a fascist and stuff. He fell into that thing, and we thought it was funny because I seen him posting about that Pepe the Frog and all that junk around back then. Yeah, so he's posting about this on social media. I thought it was cool. And this is the time we started doing the podcast again with another friend of ours, Ali, and this guy's Persian, and we thought it was funny, so we brought this kid on there, and he was talking all this crazy stuff, right? And he's like in his 30s. And we're just like, and he said something like, he said, this is where we just lost it. He said, Vladimir Putin is a good Christian. I was like, what? Yeah, it was funny. And he was talking about how, like, this everything, how Hitler had a point and all this other stuff. I was like, damn, bro, you are lost in the sunken place.
He was on that Kanye time.
I mean, when Kanye says it, I don't mind it so much. But when he says, because I actually respect some things Kanye does. And when I say I don't mind it in the sense like, oh, that's just Kanye being Kanye. Not that I agree with his views. I just think that, some people are just dumb, and then there's people that are just dumb. Like Kanye's just dumb. He'll just say anything somebody says to him. But he'll retract it if he thinks gets proven wrong. I don't think he's that bad when it comes to that stuff. He's not that much of a knucklehead.
What was that show he was on? The guy, the bald white dude, where he was wearing the mask the whole time. It was like a 3 Alex Jones or something.
Oh yeah, the Alex Jones show. Yeah,
that was pretty crazy. He was.
Oh yeah, when he was doing that stuff.
He was calling in.
You go there calling.
Oh, Hitler. He was talking crazy.
Someone Benjamin Netanyahu. He was like Netanyahu, and he pulled out a yoo-hoo. I was like, wow, bro. Wow, he's off the meds now.
But he's a billionaire again, so.
That's something we should let's start there. Kanye's a billionaire again.
Yeah, that's crazy. 2.77 billion, they say.
2.7. That's $300 million more than he was before he got dropped by Adidas. He was 2.4, I think, or 2.2.
Yeah, he was like 2.2. Yeah.
So how is he, Sean? You're a man of business. How does that man who's selling $20 clothes made of recycled potato sacks, which I bought every piece of, by the way. How does he become a billionaire?
Well, you just answered your own question.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, I don't think my little money. I mean, if millions of people are buying it, but you think he's worth that? Like, I read the article. It's like his catalog of music, his stake in different businesses outside of his.
Doesn't he have a little piece of Skims, or he didn't? He got because Skims
helped
is
start
crazy.
that.
Yeah. But I thought he got kind of ousted out of there or something. I thought something funny happened.
I don't know. I think they have some kind of like, you shut the fuck up and we'll keep you as a silent partner.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Once you get to a certain point, it's like when they talk about. I remember back in the day they talked about how Mike Tyson went bankrupt. Right? It was like Mike Tyson only got $5,000 in his bank account. He's bankrupt. And I'm telling myself, I'm like, listen, we're never going to see Mike Tyson in a Walmart or fucking in some regular ass shit. He's always going to be in a position, right, where he's going to be at some exclusive type. Once you get to a certain level, whether someone invests money in you or whether you make a certain amount of money, broke is very relative, like motherfucker get down to $1 million that they could squeeze out of a bankruptcy case, and they feel horrible. They feel broke. Like, how am I gonna live? What's my family, right? And then most people, right, in the world may not see $1 million in their lifetime, but it's all like Chris Rock said it best. He's like, shit. We always talk about Oprah billionaire, Oprah the billionaire. But if Bill Gates woke up with Oprah money, he'd slit his wrists and on the way, jumping out the window on the way down, he'd be slitting his wrists like, oh my God, 2 billion. But that's how it is, right? Like,
you'll be money. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
there was a 100 billion or whatever.
Pull that out. It's that's in what he owns and stuff, right? Or
it's not about pulling anything out. It's about perception. If you could raise 10 million and somebody gives you 10 million, most likely you could raise $1 million, even if shit goes fucked up with the 10 million. So once you get to a certain point, all these people, it's like anything else. Kamala had a whole situation with the presidency, right? Running for president. She raised billions of dollars and didn't win. You know what? She can run again and raise billions of dollars again. So there's a certain viability to the fact of people finding the person that they want to invest in, and that's half the battle. You could fail. The guy who started WeWork and that shit went to hell.
I remember that guy.
He's raising another $300 million from some.
Yeah, they gave him another company. That's crazy.
Yeah,
he's just a good marketer. That's one of the things. That's why people keep giving Trump money.
There's only certain people you could give a certain amount of money to, because it's a thin line between the motherfucker you've never met, don't know, that's trying to pitch you something, to the person that said, I raised 10 million on this other project, I raised 15 million, because that's all venture capital is. You're not going to win on every company. Your proposition is you're going to lose more than you win, but your wins have to be exponentially more than your losses.
So you're basically saying that most rich people or very wealthy people are just scammers who know how to raise money for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hustle game. It's a hustle game. Look, it's like you getting into a dope game, right? But fucking, like, you come in and you're like, oh, you don't know. You typically get shit on consignment, right? Consignment is you getting it and you come back with the bread, right? You doing it on a dream.
Yeah.
Some people may get flushed out, not be able to come back. There's repercussions, whatever, or you out the game, whatever the situation is, depending on who gave it to you. But if you come back with the bread, right, even if you break even and you don't make money yourself, the fact that you prove that you can churn money into an investment, even if it's a loss. Look at Amazon, look at Netflix, look at all these companies that took losses year over year over year, right? It was the ideology and the idea of the fact that they could make money. So once you get down that gravy train and people giving you 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, who else you going to give 20 million to?
And also, like, businesses like Amazon, they stay open because they keep innovating. Their money maker is their cloud services, right? The Amazon delivery and all that other crap really doesn't make them money.
Oh yeah,
it's that when they sell advertising and data and all that type of stuff now, that really makes them money.
Oh,
the rest of that stuff, it's like we were talking about this yesterday. Loss leaders in some businesses, like Costco, when they sell them $1.50 hot dogs, they lose like 20 cents or something.
Oh yeah,
so 9 cents or 10 cents per hot dog, but it keeps people coming back because if you go in them, they say you're just craving a hot dog. And you want to go up in there and buy some hot dogs, and then you go and you end up with like toilet paper, detergent, everything.
Yeah.
You walk in, you walk out with a bunch of stuff and your hot dog, but that's a loss of the chickens too. They're $5.99. The price never changed. You go there, you get a fat bird that tastes good off the rotisserie, and you leave with a bunch of other stuff.
The proposition to keep coming back is the only way to create a viable business. And what keeps somebody coming back is not necessarily what you make your money on, but what keeps somebody coming back allows you the opportunity to get creative, like you said, and do other things and be innovative. Because look at Apple with the iPhone. This has been the same damn iPhone for 10 years. I mean, this is basically the same iPhone, right?
Not really. I mean, a little bit.
I mean, if you were out at a club, a restaurant, whatever, and everybody's on their phones, no one would know. There was a time we would recognize a new phone because there was some new design. It had a new back. Some shit was to it. It was like, oh shit, you got Man, you go into a spot now, people would not be able to pick. Oh, you got the new one. You got the. There was a time we knew from a distance, from afar.
Yeah, what phone you had? Because it was like a flip phone remember the sidekicks? Lauren, were you old enough to remember sidekicks?
Yeah, it like slid up on the side. Right.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, your grandma probably had one. Keep on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He switched. Yeah.
Yeah, let's remember the sidekicks and stuff. Blackberry.
Oh, I was a big black.
Oh, this guy was
We
BBA.
used to argue about this.
No, yeah. Then he switched to iPhone. Then all of a sudden he forgot what a BlackBerry was. That was so funny.
Oh, BlackBerry just got
Jump
phased
out the window for a BlackBerry.
Oh, I used to follow them like a lot with this.
Remember that R&B singer?
Melanie Fiona, Melanie. Yeah. But the BBM.
He's like, what's your BBM?
That was the first BBM for the BBL. You're like, yo, give me your BBM. You put the PIN number in, and you could communicate overseas, and you didn't have to pay any of those surcharges. Now, people just ask for Instagram. You could,
WhatsApp too.
WhatsApp. Yeah,
WhatsApp with all that stuff. Well, speaking of, let's keep it moving because I kept getting fed all this, no pun intended, all this fat content because of that rapper girl. And look, I'll speak more if you guys don't want to get into this because you're both healthy. It's fine. I'll talk on it because it won't look like I'm the bad guy here. I saw a bunch of different videos. Well, first off, that rapper lady, I guess from Detroit, that couldn't the Lyft driver.
Oh, was she a
her
rapper?
business? I think so. Yeah, I think she got a little press on this. I don't know. I didn't hear her music, but I'm sure people are looking it up and whatnot. So she came out, said, "Oh, the Lyft driver wouldn't let me in." She weighed like 400 or 500 pounds, and wouldn't get in the little Toyota Corolla or whatever it was. I can see, this is where it's a funny line, okay? It's a Lyft driver. It's not like a person that has to, they could turn down your ride if they want, but if he's saying that his car is like messed up, his wheels or tires are messed up.
His suspension, yeah.
It's compromised. I don't want you in the car. He could say that, but is the business liable? Like Lyft, are they liable for any like stuff like that? Because that's the driver's
individual. They're individual contractors, so I think there's probably a limit of exposure that the driver can, anybody, a passenger could sue, unless you have some kind of assault or something where it's documented that that person has done it before and the company is aware of it. But it's to their discretion, right? Mm-hmm. You let somebody in and say, hey, and which is kind of interesting though, because if you can't pick up anybody over a certain weight, or if that's, I don't know, if you like, you would think like you would know that, right? Like, hey, I need to get my car completely up to spec, right?
Because that's my next point. Going to the stuff like, okay, you have to get the car up to spec, and then the plane stuff. I don't know if you saw the other video I sent through, overweight woman talking about how planes need to adapt to her size, where she can have 2 or 3 seats when she needs it, extended seat belts, wider rows. I'm like, they got to rebuild. Okay, so you're telling me that because you weigh a few more pounds or a few hundred more pounds than the next person, that we should accommodate you with a plane, which is fine. We could do that. Like, look, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur nowadays. Why don't you all invest in an airline that only flies around big people like myself? Okay, like myself, people. Okay, I'm not being racist here or fatphobic. I'm being critical, self-aware, understanding of the problem. And look, I would love to swim in my seat, because sometimes, and I'm being totally real, because I had this real conversation with my wife. When we fly out of where we live in Ohio, they be those little passenger planes, and them seats are old and small, so they're a little tighter. Now, I've gained maybe 40, 50 pounds, right, since the pandemic. I get in those little seats. Yo, I am like this close away from asking for a seatbelt extender. I swear to you. I got to like hold my guts in, and if I'm wearing like a puffy coat or something, like just over the wintertime we were flying, I had to like readjust and get it in, and it fits. I mean, it's not like uncomfortable, but getting it on is tough. Now, a regular plane now, like if like Delta flight or whatever, a regular nice plane, it's easy. And I have a little bit of room. I could cinch it in a little bit and tighten it up a little if I need to. So I'm good there. But on these little planes, I feel like, oh God, I need to go lose some weight. And I can only imagine what those bigger people, the 400 or 500 pound people, have to go through. But I
Yeah,
also
that's tough.
think, like, not to say, look, people have medical conditions and all that, thyroid problems or whatever, and they're just swollen everywhere or whatever. But if you just eating a bunch of Cheetos and KFC and shit and you're fat as fuck, like, I don't feel bad for you. Go fucking rent a car or get on a fucking Amtrak or get a horse or something, a camel.
So
I
you're
don't know.
saying, you're saying just have a stipulation to you want to know why they're fat, whether or
No,
not
I don't think you
they
can
should have
ask that,
a
right? That's their medical, that's a private. I'm saying be more self aware and
Yeah.
understand how you got here,
So what you
right?
ask for internally, you should know how you got there and ask for certain things
Look,
based on
look,
that.
look, look. Let me put it to you this way: if I'm walking through the woods and I see a burning cross and a bunch of white hoods with the little points on them,
You're
I'm
gonna
not
go
gonna
the other
jump
way.
in there and be like, "Yo, what we doing? How we doing here? Can I join your little
Let me get that extra seatbelt.
Yeah, let me hang out with y'all, right?"
I don't belong here. So you're saying
Not to say no. See, maybe it's a bad. Maybe that's a bad analogy. Sorry, maybe it's a bad analogy. I'm not trying to say that I don't.
when you go that balcony, you see no seats for you. You need to go.
Hey, you would put me in a weird spot. No. They belong on the plane if they're mindful of the situation they're going into.
Yeah.
You can't complain and say, "Oh, I only bought one seat, now I can't fit." What about the person that's sitting next to you and all that other stuff? You got to buy your 2 seats that you need to buy. You have to make sure that, the plane, that you call the airline to make sure that the plane is big enough for whatever you need. Those are the things you have to do. Like a handicapped person has to go through that shit
Yeah.
too, to make sure they have a wheelchair and all that stuff. You're saying just because the wheelchair ain't automatically there for you, that is the problem, like all.
Or you could be 7 feet tall. That's
exactly. What about tall people?
Yeah.
Right? What about tall people? No, it doesn't make sense. I don't have many large people like that in my life. I know on my wife's side, I think there's like an uncle or cousin that's very large. I don't think he travels much or anything like that, and all that. But I don't know. I don't know. Do any of us know anybody that large?
No, not
Like that's
only on TV.
My 600-pound life load and shit. I don't know anybody, and I mean, go.
I would intervene if I knew somebody who was getting to that point. Like,
oh, you'd say something. Why is she talking? You ain't talking to me. Like, what's going on?
Well, you're not 600.
I'm getting there. Yo, you was over here, my blood pressure through the roof, and be happy while I'm trying to walk.
And I got you all set up.
Yeah, they got me all set up. His girl saved my life, yo. She had me. She was like, "You better go to that doctor." She took my blood pressure and everything. She's like, "It was like 200 over 1,000. You need to go." I was like, "Yeah, I was going Monday." I did, and now I'm fixed. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I think people who big, small, whatever the situation. I mean, I agree. You should know, right, your limitations with regards to how you get in where you fit in. I don't know, pun intended. But at the end of the day, it's hard. Like, people get so sensitive about what other people should be creating for them. It's like, oh, you don't have this here? Y'all don't have this on the menu? Like, oh, bro. No, we don't have that. So,
I remember a few years ago, somebody, this grocery store worker, like tried to sue the grocery store because they didn't want to touch the bacon when they were ringing out people at the register. It's not like it's your fucking job to touch all the food and ring it out. So why are you suing? Then don't work there. Like, what are you talking about? They're paying you to do something. Like, and it's funny because I thought about this because a friend of mine, well, I'm not gonna, a partner of mine, they had religious reasons for not taking a $1 million deal for I think I told you about this, Sean. Where,
yeah.
My man, well, I'll just say show me, right? Show me is a devout Muslim. He Lucid Media, thank you, you're great. They're one of our partners here, and he had a valid reason for not wanting to take $1 million from Pork.org, a government organization, to do a campaign for bacon, and I get it. But then sometimes I'm like, $1 million though, and he explained to me why, and it made sense. Now I'm not gonna get into the details of why, but it made sense to me. And there's certain things I wouldn't do. Like I wouldn't, like if somebody from the Republican Party came to me and said, "Oh, we want you to do media for our, like Trump or somebody like that," I'd probably turn it down. Like it's not one of those things like political ideology and stuff like that does fall in the scope of things I wouldn't mess with if like for money. But then what bag, like with that, like what if they said, we give you $5 million and all you got to do is some this and that, and I'll be like, I'd have to think it over. Would you do it, Lauren?
I
Would you work for?
wouldn't, but I feel like it ties into our last our last podcast with the Trump and Nelly performed. I feel like they definitely paid them big bucks. I don't think they just willingly was like, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but personally, nah, I
Like, what if
would
nobody
prefer
knew
it
you
with
did
the
it? You just
Muslim.
did it. You know, they paid here. They said here, Lauren, $5 million.
If it's some low key, no.
See,
Cash.
but that's the thing. That's the thing. People have this like, oh, I wouldn't do, but you're already breaking your moral codes for money. So why not just do it anyway? If you're, I mean, like it's not like performing or anything like that, but like,
Well, you got to think about it like this. Think about it like this, right? As when an attorney, right? Everybody has a right to an attorney, whether you're a murderer, whether you're a rapist, whether you're this, whether you're that. Like, so everybody has that basic right, right? So everybody has a basic right to feed their family. However, like it's like the thing, right? We I- if a mother's like stealing diapers in the grocery store, right? We look at that differently, right? Than somebody robbing a bank. Like if somebody just needs formula or whatever, for their kids, there's like levels to the situation, and I feel like I just unblur all the lines. I'm like, listen, if somebody offers you $1 million, whatever, and it's in the scope of whatever it is you do. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know, we all came through generational stuff from having to take shit from situations and, people not even knowing black person is the singer of a certain song, and then they realize that for the first time, or an author for a certain book and they realize that for the first time. Or I mean, we have to get there any way, shape, or form that we can get there. So I never have any issues or problems. If that's what you do, that's what you do. Same like the dude on the street, like the Uber driver. You're not gonna. Well, I guess some people don't pick up people if they have a certain weight, but in general, we do what we do to survive. So like
yeah.
whatever it is that entails and what you do in your life, then more power to you. Because if we segment the population into moral aptitude of like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, based on whatever the case may be, we would have never got to the point that we are now, because it would have been nothing but revolt for us, right? Coming through slavery, and then we had to play that part, like to get to the point where we could make change. Because listen, at the end of the day, if we didn't play that part, we already know what the repercussion would have been. So I think get the bag and turn it into something good for your community or your cause or what have you, but use it wisely, because people will do great causes and go to the strip club and go to the whatever and blow it all away for nothing.
But they always judge you. See, that's the thing. It doesn't matter what you do. The minute they see the flaw in your character, or they saw how you got your money, like they still judge Jay-Z for selling drugs, right? I mean, look, he didn't serve any time for it or anything, but you did the sin. Now you straighten out your life. Shouldn't you be praising that person? Why do they stigmatize everybody that comes out of prison on regardless of a murder or whatever? You did the time, and then you straighten your life out, but you can't run for office. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's kind of messed up. I mean, look, that's why you try to live a straight edge life, but I still think it's not fair in some senses, especially if the person has a good heart and understands what they did, was a mistake. And I can only imagine, because I made mistakes, right? I could have been in jail many times, right? Or anything for that, like stupid stuff that I've done. I think all of us can say that for something, right? But I just feel bad, that it's with the like if you have to do something for money, or you're just really good at something. I'm good at marketing. Like if I were to take the money from a political adversary because they want my marketing skills, and if they happen to win and the world ends and all that shit because of my marketing, that would suck. But at the end of the day, so you gotta those are the things you gotta live with, right?
Well, here's the question though. Here's the counter to anyone who feels a certain way about someone performing for or whatever the scenario is. Would you feel the same way if that person performed for free just to promote their talent, their brand, their business, whatever, and said, "Hey, I'm not going to take a check, but you know what? I'm going to take the platform. I'm going to take the stage." Would people feel the exact same way? Would people respect that? And the people that may respect that I'm like, why don't you respect them getting paid for it then, right? Because if they're gonna do it for free,
Oh, because
let's
it's
see.
honor. You know, it's so funny.
But
'Cause those same
it's
people,
honor. That's
they're like,
that's
oh, it's
that's
like, they're like, oh, you're stupid for you know what the comments would be under the post? Oh, you're stupid for not doing that for money. You're an idiot for not doing that for money. That's the only way I do that. I get
yes,
and you really believe in this. Oh, it's like,
and that's the whole point.
yeah, look, you can't please nobody in the social media world. You
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
can't. I mean, nobody's happy really. It could be all that stuff. You do it for noble reason, or you
Yeah.
do it because you actually believe in it.
Exactly.
If you're not,
so why
you know,
care? So why give
Yeah.
a fuck? Like,
I mean, that's kind of the thing that got us in this weird place that we're in now as a society,
yeah.
right? Not giving a fuck, which is cool. Not giving a fuck if you're not giving a fuck about the right things, but that's kind of a cliche. Is that the word, maybe, or catch-22? It's kind of a catch-22, right? Like you can't. Is that yeah? That's the right word for it.
Yeah,
You
it's a lose-lose.
Yeah,
Everything
like you can't.
is a lose-lose proposition. Like
Yeah.
there's no, you're not going to please everybody. Everybody's not going to agree with what you do, and that's the whole thing. If you're a professional athlete, you're an entertainer, you're any type, way, shape, or form in the public eye. You know, the same thing. You talk. You know, when people like leave maybe like a bad Google review or whatever, right? Typically, people will leave a negative review, not necessarily a positive review.
I left a negative review on your
Oh,
your company on Google.
5-star, 5-star. Ship it.
But that guy's got $8.7 million in his blackjack pot. I was playing the other day, lost all 10.
And you know what? And you know what? He's probably had a lot of people follow him and go completely the wrong way and ruin their life. But that's not his fault.
I'm one of them. I ruined my life.
This is a blackjack gambler guy we're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
guys, you got me thinking I could make the big money. Not even close. Yeah, gambling's bad, yo. Like I'm just. It's funny how we talked about this a couple of times, and I had that big thing with Kofi on that last episode. Right now, I'm just so focused on other shit that distraction is no longer. I have not played blackjack on my phone for money in probably 2 weeks.
You specified for money, so have you like
it's gambling? It's gambling.
Are you playing like fake blackjack or something?
No, it's the live casino.
Okay.
Stake
Okay.
with Drake and Stake.
Because you were like, I haven't played for money. I didn't know if you.
Oh no! I'm into like I'm playing like different games with my phone that kind of stimulate your mind, like little Mad games and stuff. I need that. I've trained my brain to get to work better. But that other stuff, nah, not so much. And you know, I'll get it. They keep giving me money. Like they send me $150 cash to play more, so I'll blow it and then I'll stop. If I get more, hopefully I'll stop and take it out. Like I've been on a run. I got like 4. Remember that time I told you I had like $1? I turned it into 4 Gs and then I lost it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, I want to stick with fat stuff because this is this funny thing about fatphobic marketing I saw. This is where it all started when I started seeing all these fat clips on my Instagram. Well, let me share the screen because I want you guys to watch this video first. It's short. This is this large woman ranting about her
Is the Uber lady?
No, this is different. Let me see. Let me reload the screen so we see the thing. She's just ranting about her. Wait, let me see. Can you hear this?
Skinny to market products that have fewer calories or are healthier is fatphobic. Skinny pop, skinny cow, with the tape measure tied around the waist. And you could try to change the logo, but it's still fatphobic. Skinny girl. Egregious. Just egregious. To make something have fewer calories, less sugar, you say make it skinny? Smoothie King? I hope you can now see how people use fatphobia as a marketing tool. It's not about those options having less calories and less sugar, it's the way they're marketed. Using the word skinny to market products that have...
So...
Wow.
I don't believe her. I don't understand. Like, this is literally a place called Fat Burger.
Yeah.
Right? A burger place, right?
Yeah.
So they're marketing how the size of their burger being fat to get more people in the door. Now, skinny to market to people who are trying to lose weight, to me, as a marketer, makes sense. What say you on this topic? I don't understand this lady's rant.
I don't think it's a bad thing to use skinny. Like if you're offended, don't buy the product. It's plenty of products out here. She can make fat food. Like it's still better. Like
I agree.
So, but that's like, but she's saying it's fat phobic. Like, I don't understand how that even makes sense. Like, it doesn't. They're not even mentioning fat people in a negative context. They're just saying skinny popcorn, skinny this, and there's no skinny. Like, I literally looked at all the stuff that she was like pointing out. I didn't see a picture of a skinny person in any of those ads or products. So it's I mean, I just going along with the whole thing. Like, I don't understand, and it's sort of like my feeling about a lot of the stuff that goes on in when we jump out the window for trans and gay communities and all that type of stuff, how some of the and they don't, but it doesn't go specifically into marketing, I guess. um and again, I love all those people, but at the end of the day, like, being in a minority such as like being black or even Hispanic or whatever, it's a little bit different than just wanting specific things marketed to you. I remember harkening back to this clip from Arsenio Hall show back in like 1992. Gay dude jumps out the audience and goes, "Why don't you have gay people on your show? You should just," and mind you, Arsenio Hall's the only black man who has a late night show at this point, right? Why isn't this man over at Johnny Carson or David Letterman saying that shit? He's talking to Arsenio, and then Arsenio gets in his face and is like, "I had Elton John here. I had this person. I had that person. What the fuck are you talking about?" And it shut homie up like that and quickly. And he's like, "I'll have whoever I want on the show that I know and I like." And that's the way it should be, whether they're gay or not. See, that's the type of thing, like with the thing, if we choose not to have fat people on our podcast, minus myself, right? Does that mean we're fat phobic or racist or whatever? Like, no. It's or homophobic or whatever. Like, when the time is right, or when the right person that we know wants to come on the platform, that's when it happens. I feel like a lot of people, again, I'm using this word "jump out the window" a lot lately, but jump out the window for these causes that don't make any real sense. And I think that's part of, going back to politics, what made it easier for people to say, like, "Hey, Trump makes sense because he's with us, the majority of the people." You know what I mean? Talking like regular shit. And I'm like, and it makes sense to me, but I honestly, some of those issues that even those conservatives talk about are nonsense too. Like, religion doesn't, affect my life on a daily basis. I'm not shit.
Mhm.
Abortions and shit. I mean, I don't believe in abortion, but if my wife needed to get an abortion or whatever, she can go get it. Whatever. I don't care. That's a woman's choice. All that type of shit. But my point being is that, like, some people, they take these issues too seriously, and I don't know where there's going to be some kind of middle ground one day, because I know we've gone so far left and so far right in certain points of in history, and I'm not talking politics wise. I'm just talking ideology wise. That, when is it all gonna? Do we have to live in extremes all the time? Why can't we just be like, "Yo, live your fucking life"? That's all.
Well, I mean,
Like,
that's what it is. I mean, there's always an antagonist. I mean, that's just from, again, from the beginning of time, right? There's always someone that's going to be the antithesis of whatever it is that you're believing in. Whatever conflict, spurs culture, right?
mhm.
Like the religion, in a lot of cases, there's a lot of people pillaged and forced into that, right? And then you had competing religions, right? Different sects and things that came from that. And so that's just what the nature of humanity is. Like, people are not going to kumbaya and be hand in hand on mostly anything,
Yeah.
outside of the fact of wanting to live, right? There's a small percentage of people that, for whatever reason, or suicide, want to do harm to other people and themselves, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, there's not really many people that are going to believe and honor the same things that you and I honor, people, right? That all of us honor. It's always going to be something, right? And think about it like this: when you're driving your car, I'm the type of person that if somebody's like trying to get in the lane, I'll let them in, because it's just like, for me, I'm like,
Let's go. Yeah.
I'm not like that. That
Yeah,
helps things move. But there's a lot of people.
Oh, they get the road.
When she went, yeah, they just move. They'll inch. You're all in traffic, and they'll just inch, just to not let you into the lane. Like, and I never understood that. But the person on the other side doesn't understand why I want to get in front of them, right? It's the same type of psyche, but then on the opposite flip. So that's just what it is. We just got to navigate best we can, and have discussions where we can actually talk about these things and maybe some way, somehow, people will, open up conversations and figure out things for themselves along with other people. But I think that's just humanity, unfortunately.
Sad.
Yeah.
Speaking of discussions and politics, I guess we got to go back to politics because it's been about a week and some change, and your man Trump, he doing it, planes crashing, his supporters being deported, all types of crazy shit. So I think I want to start. I don't want to jump into that plane thing because I don't know much about it, but I did see a lot of Trump. Well, not a lot. I don't know if this is true or not. Where that man, I saw a young Mexican man getting deported. I guess he was Mexican, and he had a Latinos for Trump shirt on, and some photographer or somebody caught a picture of it with him being cuffed up by ICE agents, and it's just like exactly. And then I've been seeing on social media as well a lot of white people crying that their SNAP benefits are gone, and why does my kid not getting lunch today at school? Where's my, pretty soon it's gonna be where's my Social Security check? All this stuff. I lost $1 million opportunity because of this, guys. $1 million. I like potentially. I don't know. We were in the running for it, but I lost $1 million opportunity. And Lauren, look, if I got that type of money, you definitely would be getting a raise. But people are not so. Some people are suffering. Individuals such as myself and potentially you, Sean, young businesses, minority-owned businesses, whatever, might feel a little burned from this. But like, what is are we getting what we thought we would get? Because we said this thing a while back or before the election. Like, Trump is saying all this crazy stuff, and I think you were one of the denialists, like, he ain't going to do that. He ain't going to do that. But so far, the executive orders are coming through. People are put in the paddy wagons. I'm waiting for them to freaking, nab up Hillary Clinton and put her in the jail cell or something like they promised. It's like things are happening. What do you think?
Well, all the things he said. I mean, the deportation stuff he talked about, like he made that pretty clear that was going to be the first order of business. And the interesting thing about it was he picked up a lot of the Latino vote based on the deportation stuff because they're like, well, I'm here. I did what I needed to do, and and they're taking my job too. Like that was a big thing for the community. So it's I'm not surprised by this. Deportation is never going to look good. It's always going to look horrible, no matter.
I think it's fine if it's done properly, because other countries should and will do the same thing if you're an illegal and they catch you, right? So,
oh yeah,
we just happen to have I don't want to say open border in the sense like a Republican would, but our borders are a little more open to refugees and asylum seekers and things like that. Because we're a nice country,
and it all depends on, right, which immigrant class, which person, how smart they are, if they can help us. Albert Einstein, right, was fucking basically, we basically stole him from.
Did they round up any Europeans?
No.
Did you see any of that?
This is all going to be,
because they said there was a statistic.
They're all going to be Latin.
Yeah,
America, South America.
There was a statistic that came out. This is while right when Trump became president, that a lot of illegals that with expired visas or
overstays. His brother were part of that.
Yeah,
they were.
A lot of them were European or
they were illegal.
White people.
But it depends again on how smart you are, right? There's a hierarchy to
Elon Musk was
immigrant. I think smart.
Well, that's a discussion. What is the definition? So a lot of people think Kanye is a genius. I think he's an idiot. But even though I love him to death, I love Kanye to death, but he's an idiot. He can't read. Elon Musk is dumb too. In my opinion, he says dumb stuff. Did you see that Don Lemon interview? We caught him on the thing. He was like, well, he couldn't explain his way out of understanding why DEI makes sense. And how do you explain why he's bad? He couldn't explain why he's bad because he was assuming. He literally just says the assumption is white people do a better job than everybody else. That's what he wanted to say. But he didn't say it. He's just like, well, if you hire the blacks and the browns and the Asian and all this to do things, they're just going to mess it up. That's what he's saying. But literally, he's just saying only white people deserve these opportunities, even though the majority of the mess ups are white people. Every fucking war, every fucking this and that, everything that happens bad in this world for the most part can root back to some white guy doing something stupid like himself. So
and the fact, and not to even mention how slaves and immigrants built this whole right. That's typically slaves. So
want to read that
history book. Yeah, all the data centers and the server centers and all this shit that supports all Amazon was all paved through Native American and Black African slave lives. That was all cultivated to have these centers and land that you could build on, things like that, through agriculture. So
fucking peanuts and shit too. Peanuts and black man.
So
wait, how did the black man invent the peanut?
There's all with George Washington Carver.
Wait, is that an event? Like, did he do the genetics with the seeds to make the peanut? I gotta look that up. I don't even know. Like, why do they give him? Is it the peanut butter? Did he make the peanut butter? I don't even know how this works. But I'm interested in seeing how this man invented the peanut. That's amazing.
No, Carver did a lot of stuff with agriculture and helped to, create ways and methods to make things grow more prosperous. But yeah.
Peanuts. I don't know. I this whole thing that's going on, it's not like, I was talking to my sister about it this morning, and she has this whole, like, she doesn't give a fuck anymore. She's like, that school board, everybody's talking all this crazy shit now. Now everybody's left wing on the school board and wants to put all this shit back in the books. Like they want to have like transgenders reading stories to kids now, like the whole school board in Atlanta. And I'm like, but 2 years ago, everybody wanted to take all the trans people out of the school and make it bathrooms, like everybody get their genitals checked at the bathroom, like all this crazy stuff. So now, but then now everybody flipped on their side. I'm like, what is wrong with people? It's just, God, I need to move to another planet. I keep thinking about that. Like, I was tonight we were talking about that shit. I was like, this world, it's like so fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I was just talking about this last night. It's like every time you look, it's like some new crazy tragedy, disaster. You become more conscious of it.
It's not
as you get
bad
older.
though. Like, you got to understand.
No, it is.
Crime rates are no. Crime is down. Things like if you
crime is like down.
Look back to like the 1960s, 20s, 30s, whatever. People in this country, yeah. Overall, it's down. I think like petty, small stuff is up, but that's what leads to bigger things. Anyway, we get to discuss that a little, but murders are down and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. If you look back to like the things that used to happen in the 50s and 60s, especially the black people, lynchings, like hangings, people getting murdered and chopped up and eaten, all the different psychopaths that did shit, Charles Manson, all this crazy stuff. These people are around. And then also like the cults and all this other crap that where people were killing each other, like mass suicides and all this type of stuff. Jim Jones sending all those people to Africa, not Jimmy Jones from Dipset, but the other guy, the preacher. So
Guyana,
yeah. So like you get all those crazy things that happened in the not too distant past, and reflect on them, compare them to some of the tragedies that happen today, or even some of the like bad things that you hear about in the news. It's not that bad considering, The crack era. Remember the crack era?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers strung out on the shit.
I think right now the youth is like kind of out of control. Like,
Is the youth? Are they?
15, 16-year-old, they're like the terror squad now. Like you see.
What are they doing? The Kia boys
15,
stealing the cars?
Carjacking, whatever. All the cities. I know DC was carjacking.
I'm so detached. I'm detached from that reality.
I knew people personally that got carjacked, like 4 or 5 people that, did Sam, who works for me, got carjacked at the gas station.
Who was he driving?
He's in Mercedes, but
the fuck, that dude got money, This dude he works for him. This dude wearing Louis Vuitton sneakers. He got like So he got carjacked like for
Yeah, gunpoint. Yeah, like at the gas station. They ran.
what type of Benz was he driving? Must have been an old one or something because you can't.
No, it wasn't an old one. It was.
They found it though. They got it back.
He had a tracker, so they found it. Yeah, they found it with like 4 or 5 other cars. But it was traumatizing for him because they pulled out guns and I mean,
Well, don't be
he's a
filling your
22-year-old kid.
car up in the hood. Go to Virginia and put your gas in. Like I don't think that's it.
But that's the thing. These, they 15, 16, like the 2 girls that killed that Uber Eats driver. They hit him with the taser. It was 14, 15-year-old girls. And, he tried to, they were driving the car flipped. He's holding onto the door and he flies.
I saw that.
Caught on camera. Yeah. That was right downtown. But these kids are so desensitized now with, everything. I mean, and it just progresses, right? We're slowly but surely getting to Hunger Games territory. I mean, it's basically, dude, and think of it. Everything you watch on TV, there's no real filter now. You can say pretty much whatever.
Everything.
I mean, not sure. You could have whatever's going on television. They literally over and over again are showing a plane blow up in a helicopter, right?
That thing.
The first time I had a situation like that in my lifetime is seeing something in real time where the news actually showed some catastrophe like that was 9/11. Before that, I had never really seen.
What about the Challenger air?
Well, that was on live TV, so that was different. But I'm talking about where they regurgitated, right? They were after that, they weren't really showing that over and over. 9/11 was like, to me, that was the first time you saw the towers coming down. They were showing it on a constant, cycle.
People jumping out windows and stuff. Yeah, that was like one of the first time where that 24-hour news cycle was real.
Yeah, it was like when Trump got shot at. They showed that shit over and over again. When Kennedy got shot and killed, they showed it on. Geraldo had like one little segment where he first showed the Zapruder film, and they didn't show. They wasn't like nightly news. Like, hey, we're gonna analyze this and show this. Right now, you go on World Star, you can see somebody get burnt out. Like, I mean,
I only say if it bleeds, it leads, right? That's the news thing.
Yeah. So it's so different now. So these kids can, in real time, see death. Like literally. Like, it was shocking for us to see people jumping out of the window in World Trade Center. That was shocking. And
you remember those Faces of Death movies? A lot of those fake.
Oh yeah, that was great. But nowadays, it's nothing. It's normal. You got between World Star, Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case would be. You see accidents. You see people brawling, fights. Like people are live streaming
That killer clown movie you showed me.
Oh, Terrifier. Yeah, that's a good one.
Terrifier. You ever see that shit, Lauren? Terrifier?
No, I haven't seen that, but I bet it's really wild. He made me. I don't watch horror.
He made me watch that shit. I like a little horror flick sometimes. I watch that shit. It didn't make sense. I laughed because it was so corny, but then
no, it's crazy. Like the third one. Oh, did you get the third one?
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that. I watched the first 2. There's the fourth one. It's gonna be the you see that? I sent you the trailer.
Oh,
the trailer. I sent you like they're talking about but they could start starting to film it now, but they're gonna talk about the Zach story, like how did he become the killer clown or whatever.
Yeah, let's see that.
I mean, it is what it is. Those things aren't that bad. I think they were kind of funny, but I seen some wild ass fucking horror flicks back in the day. Like there's some crazy shit. Like Faces of Death and
yeah.
What was it? Evil Dead. All that shit was terrible. I mean, it looked fake and shit, but it was like just a premise and the storylines and the creepiness behind all that, like Exorcist and all that.
The
Halloween.
Yeah, it's like
those like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, yeah, Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw.
Wait, what's the shit with the little the other clown face movie? Not clown, the guy with the
It you talking about?
No, not it. The thing with the
You said
Jigsaw. Saw. Yeah, those things. All those suspense and horror, people getting decapitated and stuff.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah, those things. I mean, that shit. You got like. I really think it fucked up my brain. That's why I talk the way I do. It's one of those things that's like, I mean, it's entertainment. You got to enjoy it for what it is. I don't think I could ever. I get creeped out when I cut my finger or see ugh, God, all that stuff that scared me. I turn into a little wuss. I don't know. So yeah, the planes, like you're talking about
Yeah.
planes crashing into each other. So this idiot goes out there and did you see the press conference where your
Yes.
president?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it.
You see this fool try to blame it on DEI. He's like, oh, we don't know much. We're trying to figure out. The minute they find that there was one person of color or it's like slanty eyes or something that's involved in this process that anything happened, whether it's somebody sitting in the plane or somebody who was in the bathroom while the thing was happening on this thing, he's going to blame it on them. Watch. That's going to happen. Or what they're already doing, which is so freaking retarded. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you...
There's something fishy about this shit. I'm not trying to get all conspiracy theory, but the way
Yeah,
the
military plane
going straight into the like you're going to the landing path. That's a constant thing. Every 90 seconds, you got planes landing. So like, what was? What
Can I tell you the constant number of distractions that are happening right now as they're trying to confirm all of these government appointments?
I thought about that.
No, it's all distractions, and what they're doing. And it's funny because I don't understand how the Democrats or any of these saying whatever, like 2 or 3 Republicans that are saying they're left are going to let a guy like Kash Patel.
Oh, I was watching C-SPAN. I was watching on C-SPAN when they were
that man.
He was doing this high information hearing.
They asked this man, "Hey, you said that you're going to turn the FBI into a museum for the deep state." I'm not, you can't, these are lies, blah, blah, blah. There was a video of him literally saying.
Oh, yeah. There was like terrorist people that he was like connected with and all kind of.
This guy is insane, and you want him to be the head of that. He's literally talking about rounding up political opponents. He's literally talking about putting, like, if that happens, and it's so funny, like, people, I don't know what it's going to take for the really down and dirty Trump supporter to see what's happening. Or do they just go with this and then turn into brown shirts like Nazi Germany? Is that what's happening right now?
I don't know. I mean, I think that, we're living in a special time. There's no doubt about that.
Special? This ain't special. Spill what's crazy. I'm fine. I'm doing all right.
That's the whole thing. Is like, we thought we loved Clinton, and then the crime bill said it, and it basically
didn't affect me.
Every person who had a little bit of cocaine or weed or whatever went to prison for 20 years.
Like, yeah, that wasn't me. It wasn't me or you, but it definitely wasn't Lauren. She wasn't even alive. But you can't.
But that's the same. But it doesn't. But this goes back to like what I was saying. It doesn't really matter, like this whole thing. But I agree with the distraction though, because every time when I was watching, they were like, "Oh, we were supposed to be talking to you about the confirmation hearings, but we're talking about this." So I actually made a point to turn to C-SPAN, and I was watching the confirmation hearings in real time as, they were going through it, because C-SPAN is not going to report on what's, outside of congressional stuff mostly.
Yeah.
So I did watch the hearings, and I watched, was it Robert Kennedy Jr.? That was interesting too, because he had the onesies with the no vax, and he's like,
wearing a onesie?
No. So he has a foundation, and they sell onesies that say, "I'm unvaxxed, I'm okay," for kids, like babies, right? And one says no vax, no problem. But he's on the confirmation hearing saying he's pro-vax, but he's always talked about how he's anti.
He's lying, yeah. He's lying.
But he's saying I'm pro-vax, and they're like, well, do you condone the selling for profit of these? He's like, oh no, I don't have control over that. I stepped down from the board. I'm not involved in that anymore. He's like, they're like, well, you founded this. This is your like you founded this whole situation, this nonprofit. So again, either side, it's gonna be these people just do whatever they want to do or need to do to get elected and say whatever they want to say. Both sides. So all we have to do, I guess, as people is just be conscious about what's going on.
But what do we do about it? That's when they start to think like, hey, revolution. Or like they're like really stringing people up, the people taking back their government. Yeah. That's really what it's going to come down to at some point. But who's going to step up and do that? Like the liberals are all too cucked. Like they made a good point. I was looking like Charlemagne. I don't know if you guys listen to Brilliant Idiots or not. Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz podcast, right? They were just saying like, yo, the Democrats are essentially If it was sorry to get graphic, if it was a gay relationship, they are the bottom. That's what it is. They are the bottom. They're constantly just being abused, like taking it from behind from these Republicans and conservative and the media and everything, and they're losing and losing and losing and not doing anything about it. So I look at it like, yo, am I representative of that or am I something else? Right? Like there's this whole, and I'll even say like Sean, Lauren, you like considering I think our politics are somewhat aligned in some aspects, but at the end of the day, like what are like where do you position yourself when or if that war happens? Are you going to be too scared to stand on the front line? I personally don't even know. I don't even know. I don't want it to get to that because life is starting to look good. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants it to get to that, but there are people, and I tell Sean this all the time when we talk. One day, and it's that there's going to be a breaking point because 90% of the people in this country are literally suffering. Like literally below the poverty line, not making enough, and they see what we got regardless and shit. You know what I mean? You got AirPods on, fancy cameras and shit, nice lighting. Look at that. Like, Lord, they get you first. They're gonna come over there at his house and that shit. They coming for your shit. And that's the thing. They want the same stuff. But what does stuff have to do with any of this? Like when you can have the same opportunities if you didn't vote for the idiot that took away your college education, or vote for the idiot that took away your health care, or vote for the idiot that raised your taxes. I mean, that not raised, like it took away anything that will help benefit you that you already pay into that the government should offer. It's like crazy. And you look at the numbers. They even all the red states, terrible health, terrible education, terrible living condition, and they keep voting the same idiots in. I don't understand. I still don't understand this day. And I do get it. Like it's all fucking mind games and shit. But now it's gotten to the point where people with half a brain and an education are actually going out there and supporting some of this nonsense. Or supporting these types of politicians or ways of thinking or politics or whatever.
I don't know. Well, again, it goes back to, what I was saying. We don't live in an altruistic society. Like people don't care about the other side of the coin. That's just the thing. When maybe in the beginning of time, where right, you had to go from village to village, and people shared in resources and said, "Hey, I have a cow, you have a goat, whatever the case may be." Right? We
I want a goat.
bartering, and well, that's the thing though. But we're in a kill or be killed, survivor of the fittest type situation where there's no altruism in our society anymore. We don't care about our fellow man. Look what happened, right? Like anybody who gets like killed or something happens or there's some tragedy to it, you go on social media and within a couple days there's some kind of spin, right? There's something that people are talking about. We saw the CEO guy get killed. Look, I know healthcare companies fleece the wheels and grease a lot of people, but damn, some dude still lost his life, and the whole thing was people had crushes on the dude.
But like, nothing. I mean, even if there's some kind of positivity, it's like it reminds me of like when that Sandy Hook school shooting happened. There for a solid week, there was a political discussion like we're going to take this serious and now gun control. Now there's like now with this thing, it's like we're going to
everybody thought that was going to be the time. Honestly,
we said the same thing here. And now everybody forgot about it. They're like, yeah, whatever.
The same with Texas.
None of this should help.
The kids, the elementary school kids, right? Yeah. The same thing. Like you think that, right? Man, such an atrocity. There's gonna have to be something. We could all agree on X, Y, and Z, but we really can't. Everything's too intertwined, and so the best thing we could do is be conscious about what's going on and try to individually impact our close networks of people and try to, get a ripple effect of positivity in some way, shape, or form locally in our community. It's like I remember when I first bought a property, and I would walk around and pick up trash with a trash bag in the neighborhood, and people looked at me like I was crazy. It was like I all kinds of trash. I feel 2 or 3 trash bags, But again, that's not something that, most people are going to necessarily do, right? But if you do that, you start to create a spirit of atmosphere. People see you, maybe somebody else does it, right? You get a community, right? Like that's the only way that in your own little bubble that we can create some kind of solace in our own head, because we're not going to change. You're not going to change the world. There's a very, it's a very cliche type of thing. One man can change the world, and blah 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 change. But really, it's a collective.
Sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, sometimes like the right mouthpiece, the right.
Well, yeah, to bring some people in.
Yeah,
Yeah, that right, like to take a path with you, but no one person. You gotta have people that believe in what you're saying and are behind you and want to like support you. But the world's fucked up. So from our perspective, we got to just recognize what it is. Speak on it. Try to give some tidbits of what we can in the ether and see what happens from there. But people are just strange.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've always been. They just have now TikTok to help get their message out there.
Yeah.
Anywho, well, just going to lighter. I don't know if this is light or not. More criminal shit. Let's talk about that ASAP Rocky thing we were talking about. But first, I want to give a shout out to Rihanna because I saw her invent a new food that I'm going to try this weekend. I don't know if any of you've seen this. She took a McDonald's chicken McNugget and put $200 a scoop caviar on top of it and ate it. And she said it was delicious. I saw Keith Lee try it. I saw a couple other people on TikTok try it. And I think I'm going to make a TikTok and try it. I never made a real TikTok before. Caviar on top of a McNugget.
Like that?
No, she said, I don't. Oh, I think one of her people said it was good, like her assistant or some shit. She's sneaking some caviar out of the fridge at the house and putting it on her McNuggets. And she was eating the shit, and she was like, she doesn't take. There's like a video of her eating it online somewhere.
I've never been like a big caviar. I've had all types.
Because you ain't been putting it on your McNuggets, bro.
Well, that's yeah. I mean.
You be putting it on those little creme fraiche on those little the toast stick. See, that's bullshit. That's
cool. But I've only had caviar. I've never gone out and bought caviar. Like I've never been like, oh, I'm about to get some caviar. I've been out places, events.
That's your game, bro.
Caviar, that beluga, and all that.
You gotta start hanging out with Sam more. I know Sam. I got caviar in the glove compartment in that Benz. Lauren, you fuck with caviar?
I've had it at a sushi spot, and I was not a fan.
Yeah,
it came in different colors. Like, it was really pretty looking, but it tasted just up. Here, I don't really care them.
Yeah, it's not something that,
it has to be eaten in a particular way. It's more of a, it's one of those things that, if you like, I can't describe, but I enjoy it, but I like all types of seafood and stuff, so. I enjoy caviar.
How do you?
Who, me? I'm gonna start eating on chicken McNuggets now. But nah, like when the same way we just talked about with like the little, little toast thing with the creme fraiche on top, or just straight up on what they shit. How were we doing this before? I know we did this thing on the news for.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you can get on top of sushi. But it's not really caviar. That's more like I think it's salmon roe, which is
And it's well, it's the same thing. Roe is eggs.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not.
That's
not
same.
Pure or refined in the same way as something like that. Yeah, there's a process that they put the sturgeon like fish eggs through to get the particular flavors out or whatever. But yeah, like when I go to a restaurant, if it's something that's like on the menu and I feel in the mood, I'll get it. It is expensive, but I like caviar now and then. I'm not gonna, but I don't go out of my way to get it. I will this weekend though. I'm gonna go over to the expensive market and buy a little thing of caviar. Go get a 20-piece chicken McNugget. I'm gonna get fries too, because I can't eat McDonald's without their French fry. And
I sometimes I'll just go to McDonald's just to get their fries.
Yep. So so I know ASAP. Yeah. So this is Rihanna's. Are they married?
No, significant other.
Significant other. So yeah. So
after this trial, maybe after this trial.
Yeah. While she's at home eating her nuggets and caviar, he's out shooting people on the streets. He's on
He's
trial.
on trial.
So what happened
Like-
with that? Like the trial's happening. What's going on?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of crazy. I've been following this, so that's one of my things. I love to follow trials. Like I watch from the opening statements, opening arguments, all the way down to the closing arguments. So the situation is actually kind of crazy because I knew about the story, but I didn't know about the story. So he has this friend, ASAP Relly, who's the victim in this case. So ASAP Relly grew up with him, high school. They've known each other since 16 years old. And somewhere along the line, they had a falling out because ASAP Relly thought Rocky should pay for a funeral for one of their friends. But it cultivated into this whole beef, and they approached each other in LA after texting each other back and forth. Rocky's like, yo, let's, handle this. Where you at? Drop your location. He does. Rocky goes over there with a few other of the ASAP folks. And essentially they get into a fight, altercation, and it's all on camera. Rocky pulls out a gun. Allegedly, they say the defense is it's a prop gun, so they're saying it was a real gun. He shoots, and according to the victim, his hand gets grazed, so he doesn't get actually literally shot. Whatever. Cops get called. This is where it gets crazy to me. Cops get called to the scene after everything blows over. No one's there. Cops inspect the entire area. They don't find any shell cases. No sign of a shooting. No one's injured. Everybody's dispersed. The guy who grew up with ASAP Rocky goes back to the scene, not to the police, goes back to the scene with his girlfriend with a paper bag and a pen and recovers the shell casings using a pen and putting them in the paper bag like a detective. And then he proceeds to take pictures of the surrounding cameras in the area, basically to try to say, proving his point. He took pictures of the bullet shell casings before he picked them up. Then he goes to the police station the next day and tells the police station the entire story of what happened, and then files a lawsuit against Rocky, for money, which they don't want to pay. And then we're here to a trial, which they offered Rocky a 6-month plea deal with like a 3-year probationary sentence after, and he declined to take that deal, and now he's facing 24 years in prison for assault with a deadly weapon. But
Did they have the weapon and everything?
No, they don't have the weapon.
So
and the shooting itself did not take place on camera. There were just a camera picked up a very grainy video of them, like kind of globs of them running around, and then picked up sound of what appeared to be shots. Now, ASAP Rocky's defense says his security team told him carry a prop gun, right? Because ASAP, according to his defense, didn't want to hurt anybody, so he would carry a prop gun. He's famous, just to scare somebody off if somebody approached him, right? So, but for your friend to go back to the scene with basically a whole kit to pull up the shell casings and all this shit is so wild to me.
Was there any fingerprints they could find on anything that trace back to Rocky, or on the shell casing?
They haven't said anything about that. They did not find the gun. They found a clip that had 9mm shell casing. I mean, bullet, but no gun.
In Rocky's house?
In Rocky's house, just a clip with no gun.
Okay, so the clip matched the bullet.
Well, you can't match the bullet without the gun. So he had same shell. He had same bullets, but you can't match the gun because the spent shell casings, you'd have to have the gun to fire the gun in order to match the shell casings up with the recovered shell casing. So there's no way to know whether or not those shell casings came from that incident. No way to know. However,
how do you know that the shell casings came from the particular gun? Is there some kind of indicator?
Well, yeah. When you shoot a gun, when the shell casing expels, it gives off a distinctive, almost like a fingerprint.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I
the
never
case,
knew that.
Yeah, so the casings will give off like a you can match those to but you know what the interesting
Oh, that's what
thing
like,
is?
and it's the type of gun. But
Yeah,
what if
yeah.
like if you had a gun and I had a gun,
Oh no,
and
it'll be
somebody gets murdered,
every time you
and
fire
like
it's
me,
a signal.
no, if it's
Yeah.
the same, we both have the same gun. Can't they pin the murder on both of
No,
us?
no, each gun fires a distinctive signature when you fire the gun. You can't
Oh,
um the pivot
firing
happens on
pin or whatever. Yeah.
fire pin it gives a distinctive so you can
Interesting.
match it.
I didn't
It's
know
like a
that.
line, yeah. So but here's the thing. Where were the fucking actual bullets? Right? He found shell casings, but where'd the bullets go? Were the bullets lodged into anything? Right? Because the bullets had to go somewhere. So the
And then
dude
police did it. They looked around and everything.
they didn't find any bullets, but the guy went back and found shell casings, picked them up with a pen, put them in a paper bag, and then went to the police station and proceeded to take pictures of all the surrounding surveillance cameras
Shit,
so they
yeah.
could. So yeah,
Bullshit.
so I personally think it's a money grab. I think
Yeah,
it's
trying to sell it.
going. Yeah,
Yeah, that's stupid.
so
I don't know. I mean, you never know. Like there might be some breakthrough here, and they find some kind of fucking camera that shows ASAP like shooting something. But who knows? I mean, I feel like he probably did do some shooting, and hopefully was.
well, they have him on camera with something that you could tell it's a gun. So whether it's a real gun or not is the question. But
Yeah, I think
clearly
I think
he's
that's
pulling it
bullshit.
out.
It's a made up
Yeah.
story, the prop gun stuff. I don't believe that for a second. Like,
Well, yeah,
I never heard of anybody carrying a prop gun. Walk around with security.
and they
He's
said
gonna do stupid shit.
they said his defense said ASAP's licensed to carry a weapon in California. So ASAP's actually licensed to carry a real weapon
Okay.
in
So
California.
he could have actually shot this
So,
guy if he wanted to.
But he said, but they're saying because he never wanted to hurt anybody that he doesn't carry a real gun.
I don't get look. I love ASAP Rocky. He's a good guy, but he does dumb shit. This is like that shit in Europe where they were getting jumped by them kids or whatever, like antagonized. Like, grow the fuck up. You be like, stop doing dumb shit. And
Yeah.
and I think that's why a lot of these cats don't mess like Ferg and them don't mess with these guys anymore. I mean, like ASAP has so much potential to be a good, upstanding, regular guy, but you can't get that street shit out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like just don't do it. And I know some of these cats like these ASAP dudes like through Show Me and Tash and all that. And like I met Ferg at Tash's wedding. He's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Brother got his he ain't fucking around with none of that street stuff.
But yeah,
He's like,
Ferg seems like he's pretty focused. Yeah.
like why would you? But Rocky is so refined and does all this stuff. Motherfucker walks around with suits on and shit all the time. But you just go, do some dumb shit like this and bring your security out. Always walk around with security if you're that famous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Idiots, man. I don't know. Hopefully he gets off. And that boy with the finding the shell casing, that's dumb too. I don't understand. Like, where's the integrity?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the integrity in this shit? Like, I'm no street dude, but still, like, Sean, if you took some shots at me, and we was beefing about something, I wouldn't rat you out.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's what
I'd extort you. I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna go to the police. And then I found down the cell casing.
Well, that's what they. That's what I'm like, how Look, I obviously shit got wild, right? Shit got crazy, but nothing really you didn't get hit. Like, I mean, look, move on, live your best life, and never fuck with the dude again, and just have it be that. But damn, you're gonna go back to the scene and play detective, and then be like, test like that shit just like. I don't know. That's just a little funny style to me. Like that.
It's not
a little.
It's not so weird. Well, I hope it doesn't work. I like ASAP Rock. Like I said, but he just does dumb shit. Why would you jeopardize? I learned my lesson. Remember that story? Remember that time when we was in on 8th Street in DC? Yeah. Remember with the weed? Lauren, I'm gonna tell you a story because you don't know me that well. Or you don't know us that well. But this is back in the day. I want to say 2010, 11, right? This is in Washington, D.C. They're just renovating 8th Street. I don't know if you've been to DC recently, but 8th Street used to be like super hood. There's project buildings back. There still is, but they separated. They put like a big fence or something up there. What was the borderline? That Checkers? Remember that Checkers burger shop? And then it's a hood right behind it. And
yeah.
So
well,
you say,
you talking about you probably talking about Chick-fil-A wasn't over there at that.
No, it was a Checkers because I remember walking past it and going into.
But Checkers is on. Oh yeah, Checkers is on Bladensburg. Yeah.
Yeah, it was right there. Whatever.
Yeah,
Either way.
yeah.
So we were hanging out at this bar. He knows the bartender. Like Sean always befriends the most random people. So we know this bartender and then the chef that cooks the food in the back, right? So we're hanging out like in the back of this restaurant with these guys. And then like, oh, so we gotta go get some, let's go get the smoke something, right? And I was like, oh, I got it. I got like $20 and get on it. He's like, yo, my man got some stuff. He lives right over there on the projects, like, a couple of blocks away. So homie's like, oh, I'll just run and go get it. And I was like, nah, I'll go with you. And I didn't know this dude. I just met him, right? So I'm like, it's $20 too. Like back then, we go out like $20 was like what? So I walking with dude, and I'm kind of dressed up and wearing my all black with my nice little jacket on and shit. And I'm walking through the projects with homie. Now I literally just met this guy 10 minutes ago. Don't even know his fucking name. And we're walking through this. It's pitch black. It's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Nobody's outside. I'm like, it's kind of weird. Like, we were just around people outside. Now, nobody's outside. Every time we walked out, I walked down the street, I swear, people was poking their head out windows. Some guy came outside.
That's how it be.
And greeted homie. Like, whatever his name was, he's like, yo, it's good. And he's like, who's this guy? And he said it to me like that. And he's like, yo, he's with me. He's cool. I'm like, what the I'm cool. I don't, why is this man even asking? Like, mind my business. And I'm like, all right, cool. We keep going up to like mad people. He's introducing me to motherfuckers and shit, like as we're walking. Like, and some of them he don't even know. They just know each other by face because they all live in the same neighborhood. I thought I was gonna die because we kept walking for a while. And I was like, yo, he about to get me jumped or murdered or something like that. And he's like, yo, you good? And like, he kept saying that shit. I'm like, yo, it'll be good once I get the fuck out of here. So he goes and cops the stuff, gives it to me, and then we're walking back out, and I'm scared as shit still. We finally get back, and then I had this epiphany, Lauren. Mind you, I'm a little older than you. I think I was maybe like 30 at this point in my life. And I had a good job, too, at that time. Little good job. I just started in my marketing thing, my digital marketing stuff. And I'm like, I sat there a couple of days later. This is when I was going to church, too. I was in this church. I was thinking, I'm reflecting back, and I'm like, yo, I was talking to my church group, and I was like, yo, I just did the dumbest shit this weekend. And I described it. And mind you, I was sitting around a bunch of white kids and shit. I was going through some weird shit back then. And I'm sitting there like, yo, I walked to get some fucking dime bag of weed that wasn't even that good. I don't even remember if it was good or not and all this stuff. And I risked my life almost for that. Walking with some strange dude through the Sean over here, like, yeah, whatever.
I've done that same walk, but yeah, I know.
No, but it's just crazy now. And I wonder, because my best friend, Kenny, he's like, he used to be the tough guy in high school, always ready to do some shit. And he overnight, after he had a kid, he turned into like this big pussy. Like, he didn't do nothing. Like, he's scared to cross the street when it's, when the kid doesn't cross the street on a red light. Like, he's that scared of like getting in trouble or whatever now. And then finally that feeling hit me. I'm like, yo, I almost risked my life for some bullshit. Like the reflections of A$AP Rocky here. The prop guns and shooting at your friends and shit. Like, you have everything to lose and nothing to gain from doing dumb shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what compels people to go and put themselves in these positions where they, whether it's walking through a neighborhood and knowing shit. Like, I'm not from the street, but I know the street. I lived in the hood before, in Baltimore, in Brooklyn. I know where not to cross. I know where not to be because they told me not to be there. The drug dealer told me. The guy on the corner told me. The guy, my neighbors told me. I understand the rules of these neighborhoods and these places. My dumb ass, not even being bold, just because I wanted to get some smoke, went with some stranger who was gang and drug affiliated to go get something. And I'm sitting here like, and the whole time scared out of my mind, right? Just waiting, wanting to get out of that. And now it's still, I always say I have like 9 lives because I've been, now Sean knows, he's seen me go through many things and that was one of them I used that night. You know what I'm saying? And then we went to the fish fry place. Remember, what was that shit?
No, yeah, Horse and Dickies. Yeah, Horse and Dickies.
And they forgot everything after that. Those they fried the white fish.
Yeah, Horse and Dickies, man.
The French fries are good too. They fried it in the same grease as the fish. Now, some people think that's gross, but I like my French fries in the thick grease. So whatever. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you like the French fries and the fish grease? Don't. Are you just being agreeable or okay?
No, it sounds good. I should try it.
Did you try it? I mean, some people don't like, especially if you have.
Yeah, I like a fried fish, good fried fish sandwich. I'm sure Richmond got some good spots.
Oh yeah,
Good fried fish spots.
is that spot
Well, they do what, the Croaker out there? Or
Kroger spot? Yeah, the Kroger spot. Still open? Okay, yo, I had that so many times with the map.
We used to be in Richmond heavy back in the day. He used to
Remember we
Yeah,
ordered
yeah, yeah.
when we were at Nick's spot filming that thing, and then we ordered. I think we ordered that, and it never showed up. Like we ordered for some restaurant. I'm gonna get some. Remember we were waiting for like hours for this delivery, and after we smoked the shit, and it was so freaking like we were like, yo, where's this food? Yeah, like yeah.
Richmond was cool. We had fun in Richmond.
Why were y'all down here? What made y'all come down here?
Did it with that
rapper, yeah.
So Nicholas Sappy, big artist out there.
I've heard of him. Yes.
Yeah.
So we love like 20 years back. Yeah.
More than that, like 2000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is 20 years. Yeah, like 2004 and shit. Yeah.
So he was out there. He used to have shows, and this around when Drake was popping too. So Drake had a show at VCU one time. We went up there.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
For that.
Yeah.
So cool.
And we just run around. He used to have a lot of shows, like little spots in Richmond.
They're still doing this thing. I mean, they do the rap battles. But the Southport rap battles.
Richmond.
So you on the scene, you know that shit, right? The rap battles and the what is it? The Man on the Moon or the Flags on the Moon or whatever. You ever been to those shows? Do you go to any of that stuff? I don't even know. I don't know if it's still around. Yeah, the flags, like any of the rap shows or anything like that. No, the local ones.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
That sounds interesting.
Okay, I know Mike might know. Mike and Octavia know that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like what they're doing in Richmond now. Like it's really becoming.
Yeah, we should actually plan another little trip. No,
she got to come in.
Yeah,
I drove through there. No,
back in the day, we used to. Yeah, that used to be a quick trip. We just head up.
We didn't do it as much as we used to. Remember, he goes to Juan's party.
Oh yeah.
Now he's doing all in DC. I don't know. See, that's another thing. Do I want to? I feel like I'm risking my life again. If I really want to go out there and do that, but never had any trouble. And I'm old. Like, and my wife, I don't know if she'd go. Maybe. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Yeah. Anyway, let's close on this.
Yep.
Super Bowl picks.
Oh, can't bet against Kansas City, man. I mean, I hope at least it'll be a good game. Don't. I can't say it too loud because Jenna's Philly. So, but I can't see Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City gonna get some kind of calls, the 3-peat is gonna make too much money for the league. So personally, I'm just
that's
like
a conspiracy. Yeah,
it's too much at stake. Like it's too perfect of a setup.
Lauren, what do you think?
Who do I think is gonna win?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Philly. Somebody I went to high school with. He's going to the Super Bowl. So
nice.
Nice. It would be good to see Philly win. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the DEI Philly. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like well, I do look, I respect Patrick Mahomes, but this season for Kansas City was too fishy, too sketchy. Like there was too many things that went in their favor for no good reason at all. And if they're gonna rig it, I'm not saying rig it because they always say it's rigged, but if things don't go straight, if it's not a blowout and Kansas City doesn't blow them out, I'll respect it more if Kansas City blows them out. If it's a close game and it comes down to a few crappy calls, or if the Eagles blow them out, I'm not a big Eagles fan. I'm always big because I just don't. I'm not a. No, I like Philly now, but I was never like a Eagles fan. So, I can see it going both ways. But I am just gonna go with the team with the most the least amount of MAGA people on it. So that's Philly. Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, that's a good one. Yeah, for about an hour and a half. Thank you.
Good sesh.
Yeah. Come back next week prepared, I hope, both of you.
Always.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to bring on somebody. I was telling. Oh, mind you, if you guys ever want to bring on somebody, feel free to, if a friend that you think is interesting or whoever, just to join the conversation.
That'd be fine.
Yeah. Sean, I was thinking of bringing Octavian on next week. Talk his shit. Because he's just been so animated on our team calls and stuff. I think he's going to bring some color. So, and we're going to have, his artist, Chaz French, is coming out with an album in February. So we're
Okay.
probably gonna have him come through and do a little something.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm and maybe I might have a surprise celebrity guest at some point too that I'm working on. Somebody so famous that you guys will be blown away that they'll be here. So famous. All right. All right, yo. I'll check y'all next week. Thank you. Bye.
All right. See you next time. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.